Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a spiritual life coach, and this is your spring equinox reading. So, we're going to do this the way that I was doing these before because I really love these and they're great to be able to look back on. So, we are going to pull cards for all signs. In fact, let me get myself set up. I guess I didn't really do that. Let me do that so that we're all ready for reading. Okay, perfect. And so we are going to go through the different signs and we are going to pull cards for all of them. I actually did this a little bit differently today. I have pre-shuffled all of my cards so that I can just pull right from the top and we can go right through all of the signs, and we can do this more quickly and we can get your messages more quickly. And here we are. So we will go through all of the signs. What I want to invite you to do is to, if you know it anyway, watch the reading for your sun, your moon, your rising, and maybe even your Venus. That's going to give you a better picture of what you have going on. My intention for these readings is that we're taking a look at the time period in between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So when is the solstice? June 20th, maybe this year? So about that time period. So we're going to be taking a look at those energies. If any of you have interest in a private reading, I'm still working on those, but I do have a few of the private spring equinox readings that I'm doing for people. I do a recorded email reading. So if that's something you want, just let me know in the comments and I will send you the link for those. I'm still working on those. How's everybody doing in this energy? What do you have going on? Let me know. Say hello if you're watching. I can't tell who's watching, who's not. So let me know. And I was getting these cards all shuffled and ready, and I had the death card pop right out of the deck. I went to go put it back and very clearly was shown not to put it back because this is a message for all signs. This is a message for the collective. It's a reminder. If you haven't watched my weekly reading, make sure you watch my weekly reading. It's covering a lot of what's going on in the energy. I'm getting a lot of messages still that are saying, WTF is going on with the energy right now? Why is all of this happening right now? And so if you want to understand what the energy is doing and how it's impacting your life, make sure you watch my weekly readings. But we are in between eclipses right now. We are in 2 retrogrades. There is a lot that we're being invited to let go. There's a lot that we are being invited to not only let go, because the death card isn't necessarily completely about letting go. It is about a willingness to close out the past and to set ourselves free from the past, but it's also about metamorphosis. And if I made my own tarot deck, that's what I would call it, because it is that energy of this willingness to let our lives be transformed into something better. So keep that in mind in this energy, that all of this is happening for us. It's all meant to bring us into something better for us. So the things that are meant to stay in our lives, the people that are meant to stay in our lives, the circumstances that are meant to continue and will stick around. But what is meant to be cleared out, what we're supposed to let go of, is going to be cleared and released. Are you guys finding that you're looking back on the past, that you're reflecting back a lot, that you're working through a lot of old stuff right now? Because that's very much this energy, but it's not for the point of making you suffer or making you be uncomfortable. It's not for the point of just being mean to us, right? It's about healing. It's about the opportunity for us to work through it and to close that chapter in a way that has actual closure, and to be able to let go of that and move forward with our lives. And so in this energy, you may be shown some things that have to come to a close, or that you're finally ready to let go. Maybe you've been holding on to some things for a long time and now you're finally ready to let go. So anyway, that is the collective message. We are going to dive right in to Aries. So let me know what your signs are. Let me know your sun, your moon, your rising, what you're waiting on, what you are, like what your signs are. And I'm going to have this, we will have the replay of this up on YouTube later, and I will have the timestamps connected with it so that you are able to just connect with your signs and click through that really quickly and be able to get the messages. But I would love to see you guys here in the comments. Sorry, Mercury retrograde. I'm having trouble speaking, obviously, today. So let me know. Say hello. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So this is for Aries. clearly we have an abundant energy. So I did 2 oracle cards, 1 tarot card. And again, I shuffled all of these in advance so that I could pull right from the top. So the tarot card that we got for Aries is the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is this magnetic energy. She's in a position where she knows her worth, she knows her value, she knows what she brings to the table. And so she's in a position, I always say this is a little bit like baby Empress energy, meaning that she's preparing to step into that Empress energy, meaning that she is becoming day by day in all the work that she's doing more and more abundant, more and more able to receive and allow people to give to her and allow the universe to give to her, and more in a position where she just allows abundance to flow into her experience. So I feel like for Aries, it feels very abundant. It feels like some things are happening and developing, but I want you to keep in mind that they're not happening and developing because of some action that you're taking. So if you're out there trying to control it, you're trying to force something, that's not going to be the way. The way is going to be to know your value, to know what you bring to the table, and to let it come to you. This can be in relationships, this can be in work situations with money, whatever this is for you, but there's something that you're seeking, that you're wanting, and the way is not going to be to force. And if you can let yourself just focus on being magnetic, focus on what you want to create and holding the excitement for those things to come into your experience, it is going to come into your experience. You may also be taking a look at how you're giving of yourself in this world, because I do get this energy of reciprocity here with this card. And so how much of yourself are you giving? How much are you putting out there? And of course, we want to be giving and we want to help and support people, but you might be taking a look during the springtime at how much you're giving and how much you're receiving, and starting to create circumstances in your life that are a little bit more reciprocal, where you don't feel like it's you putting out the effort all the time, or you paying the bill all the time, or whatever this looks like. You're letting yourself be in this place of being more receptive, being more magnetic. And I think that if you can focus on just, I'm excited, I'm creating these things are flowing into my experience, they're coming my way, I'm manifesting them. If you can focus on that rather than how am I going to manifest them, so just holding that knowing that it will manifest, it's going to come into your experience. So being magnetic with this energy. And the next card that we pulled in the oracle cards is the abundance card. So again, lots of abundance coming into your life, prosperity coming into your life, because it does feel prosperous. It does feel monetary in some ways as well. So some of you may even find yourself getting a raise just through investments that you've already put in. This is like you've already done the work, you've already invested in yourself, and now we just want to allow the blessings to come in. Your job is just to not block it through worry or through checking on, did my manifestation happen yet? Did it happen yet? Or what do I need to be doing? And you're focused on what you need to be doing from a place of control rather than inspired action. I hope that makes sense. The abundance card says, Divine Beloved, please show me how to feel fully deserving to receive. I release my ego's plan and open to being a vehicle for abundance. So in this case, this card is giving you the prayer to put you into this magnetic state of the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm going to read it to you again. And if you can, write it down, repeat it, use it during the springtime so that you can help yourself to be more magnetic. So it says again, Divine Beloved, please show me how to feel fully deserving to receive. I release my ego's plan and open to being a vehicle for abundance. If you would like me to send you a picture of that card, let me know. I will take a picture and I will send that your way as well. But write that down, use that, and see what that does for you. And then we have the Foggy Bay Patience card. Yeah, so you're waiting on some stuff. And here's the thing. Aries, you guys are all about, you like to take action, you like to get in there. And I feel like there's a message here where it's like, don't take action from a place of forcing something. And know that when you can lean into flow and when you can lean into patience and knowing that everything's going to come to you in the right timing and you're using this prayer to magnetize that to you, that it's going to come in. And I think that this is also acknowledging that you have had a lot of patience in situations, but with some patience, with some focus on what you're creating and just letting yourself go with the flow and be magnetic, it's going to help for things to flow into your experience. Okay. Next up, we have Taurus. Do we have any Tauruses here in the room? Say hello, whether you're watching replay or otherwise. Let's see what we've got for Taurus. I am a Taurus sun, Libra moon, Pisces rising, Aries Venus. I have a lot of placements in Aries. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. So there's a cleanse that's happening for Taurus. Absolutely. This just feels like a total cleanse. I'm going to actually start with the Oracle card here. So I have the Pine Spirit card, the Purification card. Yeah, it feels like a real level up in regard to some kind of healing for Taurus. And I get the energy because we have this Three of Swords in reverse. I get the energy that we're just entering into a time where we realize how much we've healed, how far we've come. I feel like it's been a long road. There's been a lot of work for Taurus. The astrology has been pretty tough in a lot of ways for Taurus. And so we're now in a place, though, where we recognize that that phase of our life is done. We're no longer doing the shadow work in the same way. We're no longer going through that dark night of the soul. We no longer are going to be as focused on healing. It's like less of a focus on healing and more of a focus on living. And so there probably will be experiences that you have during this time that show up for you that not only highlight for you how healed you have become, how far you have come, but also will invite you to be willing to lean into the blessings that are showing up in our experience, because I do get a little bit of this energy of it's wiping the slate clean. You're feeling better. You're feeling more healed. You're feeling excited about life, but there's also a hesitation. Is this too good to be true? Are these blessings too good to be true? Is this something that will work out for me for the long term, or whatever that is? And so we have to lean into that trust. We have to allow that trust to guide us and lead us. If we're following our flow and we're letting ourselves be led, then we are always going to be on the right path, and we're always going to have the experiences that we're meant to have. But I feel like this is saying that the experiences that you're meant to have, at least during this springtime period, are really beautiful and really light and bring us to this place of feeling much more strong and confident in ourselves. And I love that this is showing up because it's the pink roses. And for me, pink roses are my favorite. So I love that. And it says, divine confidence is completely different from the bravado of the ego. You make space for something larger to take hold. Please fill me with your confidence, oh love. Grant me courage I never knew I had. Yeah, I mean, it feels like authenticity. There's almost this energy with Taurus where we've been broken down in so many ways to the point that we have no other option, no other choice than to be our most authentic self. I guess we could choose to not be, but I think we're more comfortable with that now. We're in a place where we're more comfortable with that, and we're ready to just be us and to live our lives the way that we want to be living it, and to honor that. So that feels really refreshing. This energy feels really refreshing for Taurus. So let me know if you're a Taurus, sun, moon, rising, whatever that is for you. Let's see. Okay. Next up, we have Gemini. All right. So Gemini, let's take a look at what Gemini has to expect for the springtime season. Okay. So Gemini, Hold on, let me just feel into it for a second. We have, I'll read you all the cards and then we'll dive into that. So we have the Magician in reverse. We have the Forgiveness card. And we have the Courage card. Where have you abandoned yourself? Where have you abandoned your dreams? Where have you abandoned or gotten off track? Maybe it's not that serious. Maybe it's not an abandonment, but where have you gotten off track from the vision that you had for yourself? Where you wanted to go, what you wanted to do, where are you settling? Where are you focused on things that don't really matter when it's a time for you to focus on what does matter. It's a time for you to focus on what you want to create, what you want to manifest. Where are you telling yourself that you're not ready for something, that you're not capable of doing something? Maybe you receive some kind of an opportunity that comes in. This is the energy that I get, is maybe an opportunity that comes in and you're like, I couldn't do that. I can't do that. I'm not ready for that. I'm not whatever enough for that. I'm not good enough for that. I'm not trained enough for that. I'm not whatever. This says to go for it. Is this not your dream? Is this not something that you on some level have been thinking about? You low-key have been manifesting for a long time. I think that you have some opportunities that are coming in, and the universe is knocking on your door and it's saying, let's go. Let's get on track. Let's get you back to the things that you're excited about. Maybe you got a little distracted in the past, and this is saying the time for distraction is over. It's time to come back to the magic. It's time to come back to what you're creating. It's time to come back to take advantage of the opportunities that you have coming in, and to not be too hard on yourself about it. We have the Forgiveness card, to not be too hard on yourself. And I do feel like maybe some of you are forgiving other people so that you can set yourself free. But I also feel like this is a self-forgiveness, and it says healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. I'm going to read it again in case you want to use it as a prayer for yourself. Healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. I feel like somebody needs to see those flowers too. Maybe those flowers mean something to somebody out there. So know that that is a specific message for you. So yeah, I think there's an acceptance that's happening in this time. There is a forgiveness of self, maybe a forgiveness of other people. You're setting yourself free from the past. I feel like maybe you've been working through some stuff and maybe have felt a little stuck and stagnant. And now this is saying, let's get to the place of acceptance and forgiveness and move forward. Let's set you free so that you can come back to your magic and experience the magic. I think if you can do that, if you can be Aspen Spirit courage, if you can be courageous enough to do that, you're good. You're going to be in a really beautiful place, because this is inviting you to go after your dreams. Look at that castle in the middle of the forest. A magical little castle that you didn't expect to stumble upon. And that's kind of the message that I get, is some kind of opportunity is coming in, and maybe on some level you've always wanted it, but you didn't expect to stumble upon it. And now here it is. And you have to have the courage to step into this, because even if it's exciting, even if it's a good thing, that self-doubt can be a really tough thing. But you're being called to step back into your life, to live your life, to get back onto this track that's going to help you to continue to progress and grow and experience and have a damn good time doing it. So I love this for you. So that is Gemini. Okay. And next up we have Cancer. Anybody Cancer watching? You guys are so quiet. Oh, I can't. That's why, because I have the banners. I can't see your comments. Hey, Meg. I did Aries already. If you want to rewind, we're going through Aries was first up. I think you're going to like that one, though. Okay. So we are in Cancer. Okay, great. This is beautiful. So we have, for Cancer, we have the Ace of Swords, the Doubt card, and the Water Spirit, which is your element is water, manifesting dreams. What are you getting into, Cancer, in the springtime? Wow, this is powerful. I can feel the power. Oh, you did hear the Aries. Okay, good. I can feel the power of this, like just jumping off these cards. The Ace of Swords. I want you to pay attention during this springtime where you have ideas coming in, where you have information coming in, where you have insights coming in, and where you're feeling called to express yourself, to speak about something. You might even be taking something and speaking on it in some way, like teaching on it in some way. I'm kind of getting a teaching energy with this, or a speaking energy, or a writing energy with this. So I want you to write down during this springtime period the ideas that are coming to mind for you. What's coming up? What is on your mind? What feels like a really good idea? I think you're going to have a lot of aha moments, a lot of really great ideas that are flowing to you during this springtime. I also see you getting really clear on who you are and where you want to be going. So there's kind of a collective energy of us deciding where we want to be going. And I feel that really strongly with you, Cancer. I think you're going to have the awareness of that. But I also think, as it always does when we start to level up and we start to progress, that doubt will come in. Fear and doubt, right? To try to shut us down, to try to prevent us from being our best, from leveling up, from moving forward. So your job during this time period is to not let that get you, to understand that that's just old stuff that's working its way out. Those are old thoughts. Maybe they're not even your thoughts. Maybe they're things that other people have said to you in the past, or stories that you've told yourself because other people have said that or implied that, or of experiences that you've had. I feel like you're preparing for totally different experiences moving forward and a really nice level up. And this says, doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. So again, I'm going to read that just in case you want to use the prayer part of this card. Free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. And I think it's going to be about redirecting that doubt and following through with the ideas that you have. Maybe you have an idea that feels too big, so big, and it scares you. But you know what they say, if your dreams don't scare you, you're doing something wrong, right? And so I think you're in a really powerful position. And the last card that we have is the Water Spirit card, which is, again, your element. Cancer is a water sign. And we have the Manifesting Dreams card. Look at that. Look how magical that is. And this is just saying that some things are moving forward now. I just kind of get the sense that you're ready now. Maybe you weren't ready before. Maybe you had some baggage that you had to let go of and you've been releasing. Maybe you're doing that here in these retrogrades. You've been doing it in all of these lovely retrogrades and these eclipses and all of that stuff that we've had going on. And maybe now you're just in this place where you're ready to manifest the life that you've been envisioning for a long time. Although I do think with that Ace of Swords, it might look a little different than you expected. It might be a totally different path. You might have this vision and you're like, oh, this is what I want to do now. This is the path that I want to take. And it might be a bit of a detour from the path that you were on before, but it's leading you to where you're supposed to go. So this feels really good. Just don't let your doubt hold you back from going after the things that you want to be doing. All right, next up we have Leo. All right, let's see for Leo. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords. We have the Work card and the Renewal card, the Frog Spirit card. All right. Let's take a look at this. So the Five of Swords, I do, that word renewal really stands out to me. This Five of Swords feels like the past. This Five of Swords feels like circumstances where situations have been handled in the past that were very hurtful, that were very difficult, where maybe there was somebody lied to you or somebody was deceitful to you. And I think that this is probably here in this energy, in these retrogrades, probably being stirred up for you. Maybe there are other people in your world and you're starting to think like, who can I trust? Or is the past going to repeat itself? Or are these new circumstances in my life, are they too good to be true? Because things have been hard for a long time. And so you're processing that, right? But I think that you have to process that in order to set yourself free and to be able to move forward. I feel like with that work card too, some of this has to do with your work. Maybe certain things didn't go the way that you expected with your work and on your life path. And so there's been disappointments, but I feel like with this, it's saying the disappointments of the past do not have to determine where this is going. And so I think that you're learning a lot from it. And I think specifically you're learning how the whole point is for you to take a look at that and say, how do I want to handle similar situations? Who am I and what are my values in my life? And how do I want to approach situations, circumstances in my life in a way that makes me feel good, that I can walk away from it feeling like I'm a trustworthy person. And I am a person that, I can sleep at night knowing that I've handled things in a way that I felt good about. And so I think that you're doing some work around that here in the springtime, but it's all meant to help you to show up as the best version of yourself in your work, in your life. I definitely think that there's some kind of an exploration for Leo energy in regard to your life's work. This might not necessarily be your work, but your life's work. So meaning that those things that you're here to do to live your most purposeful life. And so I feel like there's going to be some questions about that. Maybe that looks a little different from the job that you're doing. And so then you're going to be exploring that. Do I continue to do the job that I'm doing and fulfill my purpose outside of the job? Or do I start to take steps in the direction of doing some work that I both get paid for and feels purposeful? Do I feel like my purpose is being fulfilled within the work that I'm doing? So I feel like there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of reflecting that's happening here in the springtime for Aries. And the work card says, I'm now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to release suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. So I feel like the conclusion is just in understanding yourself across the board better, where you get to this place where you do feel like you understand how you're meant to help in this world, what you're meant to do in this world. And that can be one thing, that can be many things, that can be many things over the course of a regular day. But I think that you're getting more clear on that, and that your path is starting to unfold, and maybe it's looking different than you expected it would. Maybe this eclipse energy is really shaking that up for you. But there's some work around all of this, and it's bringing you to this place of renewal, the frog spirit card of renewal, of feeling like you can step into this time in your life with a new, fresh energy. It's kind of like the Taurus energy that I was talking about, where it's a little bit of, I'm reflecting, I'm doing this work on myself and all this stuff. And then I'm in a place where I feel like I have a clean slate. I feel like I've truly healed a lot of things. I'm really ready to move forward with my life in a positive, excited way. And this feels really good. You have, like, look at the way that on this card, all of these lotus flowers, and I'm so pulled to those right now. The lotus flowers, the story of the lotus flower is that it has to grow through the mud. And I feel like you have been growing through the mud. I feel like you have been doing this work, and you do have a little bit left to do, but it's bringing you to this place of this renewal, of the flower, of the blossoming. So I think you're right on the brink of a real blossoming and expansion and growth, that an evolution is the word that's coming to mind. So that's exciting. I like that for you, Leo. It's a little work to get there, but you're getting there. You're already in it. I feel like you're already in it. So it's not like it's this brand new thing. All right, let's see. Next up, we have Virgo. All right, what do we have for Virgo? Okay. So Virgo, we have the Temperance card, the Contentment card, and the Power card. So this spring, you're preparing. You're preparing for something. You are getting yourself ready for something. It's a little bit of a slower energy. Maybe you're putting the work in. You're working on yourself. You're working on something that you're creating in your life. You're investing your time and your energy in something, but you're doing that. Maybe you're working on yourself. Maybe you've started to do like some workouts and to eat more healthily, or all these different ways, but like you're working on something, whether it's yourself, whether it's an area of your life, maybe it's many areas of your life, you're working on something. And so it's meant to be a little bit slower, because this is a preparation for bigger rewards to come. So this Temperance card is asking for you to do this work and to find this balance and to take this time to enjoy. I feel like it's like, enjoy the quiet, enjoy the time before the manifestation fully hits, because you're going to be really busy, because you're going to be pulled in a lot of different directions in some ways. So it's like just taking that time to enjoy it and to perfect your craft, to develop something in a way that is taking it to the next level. It's like you're very focused on some different things that are going to pay off for the long term. But right now, it's a quieter, slower moving, focusing quietly on the things that you're working on. I don't think you're announcing the stuff that you're working on. I don't think you're shouting it from the rooftops. It's like you're just at a slow, steady pace, working on something, preparing for something, and that's going to pay off. You're not supposed to be going hard right now and pushing yourself too much. And I think that part of this process is in finding that contentment with exactly where you are right now, even if that's not the final destination, even if that's not the full manifestation of what you're looking for. So the Contentment card says you can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly you remember, I'm right here resting in God. So yeah, I think there is like a level of contentment, but I also think you're learning how to get more content and comfortable with the quiet and to appreciate this time in your life and the things that you have at this time in your life, because I do think that you have some changes ahead. And so it's going to look different, and not bad different. I think actually it's some things that you've been asking for. But I also think that there will be moments when you look back on this time, and if you don't do it now, you will say, I wish I appreciated that more for what I had in the moment. So just taking that time to just find that gratitude and that contentment in the moment, and to not feel this pressure to push really hard or to make something happen, because it is going to move forward. There's, what did I call my weekly? Something about there's power in your stillness, and that's the energy that I'm getting here with this, because we have this power card. Through this process, you're connecting with your power in a different way than maybe you've connected with it before. And that puts you in a really powerful position for your future. So know that, and know that you have some exciting things to come, but also take some time to find the blessings in the moment, in the day, in your week, in your month, in this season of your life. It's a slower season, but I feel like summertime season is really going to pick up for you. So enjoy it. All right. Next up, let's see. Say hello if you guys are watching. Libra, we have Libra. Okay. Anybody is sun, moon, rising Libra out there? Let's see. I love that. I'm a Libra moon, and we got the hummingbird card. I've had a lot of hummingbirds showing up in my experience. And for me, hummingbirds are about expansion. And so I do feel like there's an expansion that's happening for Libra energy. So the cards that we got are the Nine of Pentacles, the Truth card, and the Hummingbird Spirit. So we'll go through these. Nine of Pentacles. This is similar vibe actually to Virgo. What have you been working on? I feel like you've been working on something quietly. And this to me feels like in that way you're maybe a little ahead, where in the springtime you are going to start to see your blessings coming in. KT is saying her sun is in Libra. Yeah. Oh, you got and 4 other placements in Libra. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay. And your Venus. Okay. So this is for you. So what have you been working on, KT? What have you been working on? What have you been building? Probably in silence. What have you been focusing on and not really announcing it to the world? That's the sense that I get. And I feel like you've been investing yourself in some things for a while now. And this Nine of Pentacles says to me, you are in a great place. You have developed something really wonderful. And if you're not already seeing it, you're about to see a lot of the rewards for the work that you've been investing in. This can be monetarily, financially. You might find yourself in a much better financial position, or finally you're making the kind of money that you want to be making. This can be, KT saying, spiritual development. So this can be that you've been investing in your spiritual development, and now you're seeing in a really earthly way how that is paying off for you, how that is benefiting you. So there's some kind of reward for investing in something and developing yourself and working on yourself. And this is also such a powerful single woman energy as well, so like it's like single independent woman sometimes with this Nine of Pentacles. And there's an energy with this where it's like, I did this on my own. Nobody did this for me. I did this on my own. And so I feel like the universe is acknowledging that for you and saying, yeah, you've put a lot of work into this. You've invested a lot into this, and that's going to pay off big time, not just in how good you feel, but pentacles are earthly. It's seeing things develop in your physical world, seeing things happen in your physical world. So the investments that you're putting in are already paying off or are about to pay off here this spring. So that looks really good. You look like you're in a really powerful, independent position. And I feel like this is that acknowledgement of that. So enjoy that. As you're in that position, you magnetize to you even better opportunities. So I feel like you're really magnetic right now. It's kind of like that Aries energy where you're very magnetic and you're being encouraged to lean into that magnetism. We also got the Truth card. So the Truth card says, when everything is done as an offering, even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking, dear Lord, take over me and speak through me. So these are prayer cards. So it says again, when everything is done as an offering, even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking, dear Lord, take over me and speak through me. So when an important conversation needs to be had, when you need to use your voice, when you need to express a truth, you are going to be shown. And so inviting God into that, inviting your higher power into that is going to be really helpful for you with that. So know that, and know that, again, I just get this sense you've been doing things quietly. So it's really interesting that it's like talking about speaking. So when the time comes to share what you've been working on or what you've been developing, you're going to do it. You're going to know when it's time to share. And you might be a little protective of the stuff that you're working on right now. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that that's a good thing. It's like you've created this beautiful, happy little bubble. And part of you gets a little afraid to let anybody else into that bubble. But I think that you will. You're just focused on strengthening this energy. And then I think the message eventually is going to be, now it's time to let people into the bubble. Now it's time to share with people what you've been working on. Now it's time to open yourself up and let yourself make more connections or whatever this looks like. So that's that. But in this little bubble with this hummingbird spirit, there's so much joy. This is the joy card. There's so much joy. There's so much happiness. Well, this is the number 22 card too. And 22 for me is that yes number, that you're on the right track number. And so the hummingbird spirit invites you to find joy in the little moments and to find joy in this time, in this space that you've created for yourself, but also be open for joy to come in. I do get the sense like that part of this is an invitation to open as well. So to let other people into your bubble, to share what you've been working on, to maybe KT talked about spiritual development, maybe doing spiritual development with other people, but you'll know the timing for that and you'll know when and how and what that looks like. So enjoy your happy bubble, enjoy what you're creating. Just don't stay in there so long that you're isolating yourself from other people. So that is Libra. Let's see, what do we have next? Scorpio. Okay. Anybody out there a Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, Venus? Let's see. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords. We have the Feelings card. And we have the Bear Spirit, the Healing card. You know what this feels like, Scorpio? It feels like you've been feeling compelled in some way to focus on some kind of healing. maybe even the universe has slowed you down in some way. Maybe it's even a physical healing where you were slowed down, you had some kind of an injury or an illness or something like that. But it feels like there's been this call, whether it's been forced upon you or you chose it, to slow down and focus on healing. Here's what I get is I feel like with Scorpio, it's been going, going, going. It's been focused on what you're doing, what you're taking care of, what you have going on in your immediate world. And this is really saying, with this Knight of Swords, it's time to take a look at what you have going on, what is coming up for you. And I feel like kind of all of a sudden out of the blue, you're going to get hit with these thoughts, these ideas as to what it is that you're needing in order to move forward. It feels like kind of a sticking point where it's like, okay, it feels like distracted energy a bit. So I've distracted myself for long enough, and now it's time for me to take a look at some things in my life. And that may come through some truths being revealed, some information being revealed, or just a truth that comes through your mind where you're like aware that you need to pay more attention to a healing. I almost feel like you have something that happens and you realize, well, I never really worked on that. I never really healed that. I never really worked on that. Or this bothers me. This impacts me more than I realized. And so when you have that insight, don't bury it, don't ignore it, honor it, because you need to honor the feelings as they're coming through. There's some work here in this springtime for you to work through these feelings. And it's saying, this card says, emotions want to be felt. That feels like the most important sentence on this card. Emotions want to be felt. You really can't surrender something until you deeply feel it. Allow me, dear divine, to offer all emotions to you, feeling them fully so that they no longer hold me captive. So I think it's about acknowledging how you feel and then doing your best to surrender it. And so I'm going to repeat the prayer part of this so that you can use this as a prayer to help you to move through this and to start to surrender it. Allow me, dear divine, to offer all emotions to you, feeling them fully so they no longer hold me captive. This is about you becoming the master of your emotions rather than your emotions being in charge of you. And in order to do that, you have to look at them and you have to feel them and you have to take a little time with them. And you might do your Scorpio thing and kind of go within and be very focused on that for a little while, and that's okay. But then hand them up, surrender them so that you aren't feeling stuck by these emotions anymore. This is about setting you free from something that has been dragging you down. Maybe you've been aware of it, maybe you haven't, but I kind of get the sense that on a conscious level anyway, you haven't been very aware of it. And this is that journey toward healing for you. You're moving into a time where you are healing, and you might again retreat a little bit with this. We have that bear spirit, and it just makes me think about hibernation. So you might be hibernating a little bit, even though we're moving into spring, just to process that. It might not be that you're staying in all the time, but you might be taking a little bit more time to honor what's coming up for you. Maybe you've been too busy to deal with it, and now is the time for you to address it and deal with it and focus on healing it. All right. Let's see. Hi, Missy. Nice to see you here. Let's see. Okay. Sagittarius. Anybody here Sagittarius? Okay. So we have the Queen of Cups, the Trust card, and the Standing Stones Passage card. So, Sagittarius, during this springtime, you are being asked to take a look at what your heart wants, where your heart wants to go, where your heart has not been protected, where you have not protected your heart in some ways, and not like guarding it. We don't want to guard the heart in a way where we are disconnected, but I think that you're going to become aware of where you can do better by your heart, where you can take better care of your heart, your emotions, and to honor it. I also see you here with this cup. Like, notice the way that her cup has a lid on it. It's the only cup in the tarot that has a lid on it. And I feel like because the Queen of Cups is so heart-centered, is so emotional, is so warm and nurturing and loving, that sometimes she can get caught up in that and then realize along the way, I really have not been giving that attention and that nurturing and that love to myself. And I feel like that might become something that you become aware of, Sagittarius, during this time period. And so then you're making decisions as to who and what gets to have access to your heart, to your world. What are you allowing? It's like this whole assessment for your life to decide how you want to be investing your time and your energy, especially your emotional time and energy. What feels good, what doesn't, and making those decisions and deciding where we want to put the cap on the cup, right? Representing your heart. There is something here about finding your strength, finding your value. Maybe something pisses you off enough where you're just like, you know what? This doesn't work for me. And also letting yourself be surrounded by people who do nurture and love and support and do all of those things for you, because that feels important too. And then we have the trust card. And it says, when love is invited to take over, right actions arrive at the right time. Allow me, dear divine, to wait patiently until the timing is right. Let me rest in the unknown until a clear path is shown. So again, this may feel like you're sitting here and you're reflecting and you're working on your emotions and working through emotions and all of that. And you may want to be moving forward, taking action, doing some things, but you also, the Queen of Cups is incredibly intuitive. She's the most intuitive outside of the High Priestess. And so she knows when the timing is right and she knows what to do. So I feel like this is also about trusting yourself to know what to do, and trusting yourself to allow the path to unfold in the right timing, and trusting yourself to know the timing of something. When to set a boundary, when to allow an ending, when to start a new beginning, because it's definitely, there's an energy of closing some things out and this willingness when your intuition says it's time to step into something new, the passage. And notice the way this woman is in this red dress, and it just feels like you come out of that work so empowered and so ready and excited to take on whatever is next for you. So you have something to look forward to with that. But I think that there's a little bit of work. And then somewhere along the way here in the springtime, you're going to be asked to walk through a new door, to go through a new passageway, to go head out on a different path. And so your job is going to be to trust the timing of that, to trust your knowing, and to be brave enough to be willing to do that. Oh, Tanya says, Scorpio, and yes, that's the exact same message I've been feeling. Focus and act and setting free. Absolutely. Good. I'm so glad that it resonated. Let me know if these resonate for you guys. I love to hear from you guys. All right. Next up, we have Capricorn. Anybody who is watching a Capricorn? Capricorn sun, moon, rising. Okay. I'm just laughing at this card that I got. Wow. Okay. All right. So we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. we have I was laughing at this card, the perfectionism card, because a lot of the Capricorns in my life that I know have a little bit of that perfectionism. So it was just funny to me that that's what we pulled. And we have the Wizard of the Woods focus. Man, there's a lot of reflecting happening. I know we're in these retrogrades, so it doesn't really surprise me, but man, oh man, there's a lot of reflecting. And that's what this feels like. This feels like the Nine of Cups, Capricorn. Where are you settling? Where are you allowing something in your life that you know isn't meeting the standard, isn't quite it for you? I want you to remember who you are, and I want you to remember what you want to create for yourself in your life. This might be looking at where you feel like you've gone off track a little bit with your focus on your dream, on your vision, on the things that you're working on. Maybe you don't feel like you're progressing at something in the same way. And we do have that perfectionism card. So energy is going to ebb and flow, and you're not always going to be progressing in the same way or working on something in the same way. But I do kind of get the sense that maybe you've stepped away from something that is important to you. And it's time to come back to that and time to start focusing and putting effort into that. And to not be distracted by people, places, and things that do not align with what you really want. And so I see you asking yourself these questions. What do I really want? What do I really want in a job? What do I really want in a relationship? What do I really want in terms of opportunities in my life? And I see you taking a look at that, because I feel like opportunities and blessings are wanting to come in. But if your energy is focused on things that are just weighing you down, it's going to be harder for you to get there. So this is tricky. I feel like also you're working towards something and you're just not feeling the reward connected to it. And sometimes you just have to call it, right? Sometimes you just have to say, I've invested in this, and I know that I've invested a lot in this, but this isn't going anywhere. This isn't going to be anything. And so that's important as well, to just honor that and to know that and to be willing to step away from that. Or it might be for you, if you're intuitively still feeling pulled to this, whatever this thing is, whatever you're focused on, if you're still feeling pulled to it, then it's like, how can I approach this in a different way so that I'm starting to see some progress here? And so I think you're going to be reflecting on that and deciding, how might I do this? And you may, with this perfection card, be being invited to do that in an outside the box kind of a way, or a different way than you've always done it, and trying to shake that up a little bit. The perfectionism card says, here, I'll show it to you first. It says, permission to make mistakes is so freeing. It's the root of creativity and change. Allow me, divine, to make as many mistakes as I need. Free me from the prison of perfectionism. I'm going to read it for you one more time in case you want to use this as a prayer for yourself. All right. Hey, sis. What's up, Carlos? So perfectionism. Permission to make mistakes is so freeing. It's the root of creativity and change. Allow me, divine, to make as many mistakes as I need. Free me from the prison of perfectionism. Free me from the prison of perfectionism. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be even exactly the way that you envisioned it, but it is perfect always in the way that God delivers it. Always in the way that we're being led. So let yourself be led, let yourself be shown, let yourself make the changes that you need to make, and come back. I feel like with this focus card, it's time to come back to something that maybe you're very focused on before. Maybe you're making some serious progress in some area in your life before, and life happens and you've stepped away from it for one reason or another. And in the springtime, you're being called to come back to that and to refocus on that, not in a perfectionistic way, but in a way that will allow you to make some progress and start to get back on track with some things. Because I do feel like it's a little bit of being off track in some way, or being focused on things that aren't helping you as much. And so you may want to refocus on some things, but your intuition already knows this already. KT says, the cap rising. Yeah. Awesome. All right, so that is Capricorn. We're almost done, guys. Okay, Aquarius. Do I have anybody who is Aquarius here? Woo, this is powerful. I'm telling you guys what, this reflecting that we're doing and taking a look at these things, it's so important because it's bringing us into the results that we're looking for. It's bringing us into, it might not be the change that you're expecting, but it's the change that you need. It's the change that is going to serve you, that is going to put you on your best life path. And so this is all happening. And so if you're frustrated with the reflecting and the slowing down and all of that, just let it happen, let it unfold, right? So we have this 3 of Wands in reverse. So for you, Aquarius, you might feel like, why aren't things moving forward for me? There's maybe a frustration, and maybe you've tried really hard. You've been very focused on a specific goal or a specific thing that you're manifesting, and you're just not seeing it. You're just frustrated. Maybe it has to do with relationships because they do have this loneliness card here, but it doesn't have to be. It can be anything, but just a general overall feeling of frustration and you know what I'm hearing in my mind is, when is it going to happen for me? When is it going to happen for me? And I do get the sense that it is going to happen for you, but it's going to happen for you when you stop focusing on when it's going to happen for you. And I know that's super annoying. I always I find that stuff to be so frustrating, right? But it's true that when we want something so badly, we create what I call thirsty energy. And we don't manifest amazing things from thirsty energy. It doesn't work that way. And so when you want something really badly and you're so focused on it, it actually can repel the very thing that you want to create. So give it a little room to breathe. Step back on it and focus on something else. Focus on just other things that you want to be focusing on. Focus on having fun. Have you ever noticed that when you're having a great day, you're having a fun day, that blessings just seem to happen for you? And that's because you're not focused. You're not focusing on why the things you want to have happen aren't happening. And you're not so focused on a specific outcome. You're just in flow. And we need you to be, Aquarius, a little bit more in flow. And so this is your invitation here in the springtime. So from between the spring equinox into the summer solstice, is to do that, to give it some room to breathe, to take a step back from it, refocus a little bit on something else. You've already, put your intentions out there, of course, but then refocus. Okay. Now you might be feeling lonely with this loneliness card. It says, when you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less. You stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solitude. And oh my gosh, I can't speak today. Mercury retrograde. I'm going to just reread the whole thing. Okay, guys. So it says, when you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solitude. And that's when kindred spirits can finally come. This is exactly what I was talking about. I didn't even read the card before. Give it some room to breathe. Stop fearing it. Stop being frustrated. Like, when is it going to happen? It's never going to happen for me. All of these things. Just step away from it and focus on something else. For this entire period of spring, that is going to allow for things to come in. And this is where Phoenix card transmutation, this is where we see the transmutation of this energy. This is where we see shit happening. This is where we see the Phoenix rising from the ashes. I do feel like it's a heavy energy. So I'm sending you guys light in this Aquarius energy, sending all of you light who are watching. But it looks like it's been tough, right? But this is where we turn the energy. This is where we alchemize the energy into the things that you want to manifest. So this is very key, and this is very important. Carlos is saying, I need to rewatch this and see what the Taurus message was. Yeah, the Taurus message. I forgot that you're a Taurus too. Shout out Tauruses. When's your birthday? My birthday is May 9th. When's yours? Okay. So then we have Pisces. Last up, we have Pisces. Last but not least. Okay. Love this. Okay. Yeah. So we've got the 10 of Cups in reverse, the Health card, and the Daffodil Fairies New Beginnings card. So with this 10 of Cups, to me, this feels like kind of a lack energy, a focus on lack, a focus on what you don't have or what's missing in your world. And I think that this is serving a purpose. I think that it's helping you to understand what it is that you want to create for your life, what it is that you want to have come in. But I also feel like I need to caution you and say, please do not stay in the lack-based energy for very long. Try to find a way to refocus yourself. This energy, Pisces, is all about focusing on you and your self-care and your well-being. And it's very individually focused because it feels like it's getting you ready for blessings to come in. So we have to move you out of that lack energy in order to allow you to step into the blessings that are wanting to come in. And so extreme self-care, giving yourself whatever it is that you're needing, is going to be really helpful here in this energy. You might be very aware of what's missing in your life during this time. Maybe you might even be feeling a little bit sorry for yourself at times. It might be a little bit of a pity party. And what I would say is let yourself feel what you feel. We need to honor that, but limit that time and then refocus and focus on what it is that you do have and focus on yourself and your self-care, because we do have this health card coming in. So a focus on your health and your well-being, your physical health, your mental health. Maybe you're feeling that pull to do that. And this says, allow me, divine, to be tender and accepting of my body, no matter what ailments I may have. May I always know it's doing the best that it can. Help me be a loving ally and a friend to this sacred form. Yeah, loving the vessel that you're in, loving this home for your soul is so important. So that might even be part of what you have going on, is you've got some health stuff already happening for you and you're feeling kind of down and out about that. I get that. When I had the frozen shoulder before, I didn't expect that my energy was going to tank the way that it tanked with that. It really got to me. It really impacted my mood and where I was at, and definitely threw myself a lot of pity parties during that time because I was really struggling with that a lot. I learned a lot through that process though. And that's what this is really saying, is how can we also redirect and focus on what it is that we have and what it is that we're learning. And maybe some of this is coming up to say to you, you've got to take better care of yourself. You've got to take better care of your body. You've got to take better care of your energy, of your mental health, whatever that is for you. I know for a fact that my frozen shoulder was energetic. I know for a fact that that came in because I was guarding myself in this situation that was happening in my neighborhood. It's a long story, but I got to a place where I was guarding myself and my shoulder just got stuck with that. And so I know that there was energetic reasons. So if you have something coming up for you or that has already come up for you, address it and work through it and know that it's a way to show you some things that you need to change and some things that you need to work on. But if you don't have stuff going on with that, I would definitely make that a focus for you so that you are focused on honoring the vessel that houses your soul. And then the last card that we have here is the Daffodil Fairy, the New Beginnings card. Yeah, I think you have a lot of exciting new beginnings to come in. And I do think that those are happening. This is the Daffodil card. This is the springtime card. So I do think that they're happening here in this springtime. So I think you have a lot to look forward to and a lot that's going to be coming in, some beautiful new beginnings that are coming in. But that's only going to come if you're willing to focus on yourself and focus on taking care of yourself so that you can show up as the best version of yourself in these new beginnings. So those are your messages, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you didn't catch all 4 of your signs for your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, make sure you check that out. Put those messages together, and that's going to give you a little bit more of a personalized reading. If you would like a spring equinox email reading where I do a voice recorded card pull just for you, I have those available. I think I have 3 of them left on sale. I'm still working on some of the other ones that people have already purchased, but let me know. I will put that below. Thank you guys for being here, for tuning in. Check all those out. I'll have the timestamps up on the YouTube video in a little while, and you should be able to just navigate them really easily and get to all the messages when you need to. All right. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care.